Hi, I'm Keisha Bisram,
And I'm Hanjie Chow.
and you're listening to the Every Shade Podcast.
Season 2.
Hanjie Chow.
Hello.
Hi. Wait, I can't hear you.
You're not?
Can you hear
Can
me?
you not hear me at all?
Hello?
Yeah?
Oh, okay.
Did you just not have my volume up?
Yeah, I thought I did, but I don't know why
That's
like on mute.
hilarious.
That was really weird.
That's funny. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing really well. I'm at my cousin's house this week
Ooh.
for kids and just hanging out. So she's at work right now and the kids are at daycare, and I think her husband, well, no, her husband took his son to the beach, I guess, with his sister, and then her baby girl is in daycare. So I kind of have the house to myself for a couple hours.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm liking, what room is this? It's very white.
This is like, well, I'm in like the dining area. So if you can see,
Oh.
that's like the kitchen back here. And then this back here is just the laundry and the bathroom.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no, it's looking nice. Yeah.
How are
How are
you?
you doing?
We asked how are you at the same time.
I know. Well, it's like well, it's been raining a lot here.
Mm-hmm.
There was like a freak storm yesterday, and everything was just like flooded around the house. It was great.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it was like a freak storm for like an hour, and then it was weird. And it's still cold.
Great.
I know, it's such a bummer. Oh god, and it's such a bummer. And weirdly enough, because I was just watching Weathering with You, and there was like one part in the this bit that I watched was talking about where he was saying about how just seeing the sunshine when you wake up in the morning puts you in a good mood. Haven't seen the sunshine for a few days. I need a sunshine girl.
You're like, great, thanks for the reminder.
Right? I know.
Yeah, it does. It does. In my parents' house, where my old bedroom is, where I'm staying right now, it's like the sunrise, it peeks right into my bedroom window. So
Oh,
out of all the rooms in the house, it's the only room where that happens. Except like they have a different room that also like it's kind of like a sunroom. But
yeah.
yeah, it really does change your mood when like you just wake up to the sun.
Yeah, it really does. And like I don't know, these days, and also during like the winter and everything, like waking up in the morning and just seeing like the doom and gloom outside. Um, it's like I just don't want to get out of bed. So I just lay there for like 2 hours, just staring at the ceiling.
Yeah, I get it. Actually, I love rainy weather, but like if it's like days in a row, it gets
Oh,
old after
me
a
too. I
while.
love rainy weather once I'm up and about doing stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
and I can just like happy like sit down and just like stare at the rain, watch the rain. But when I'm like in bed, it feels really cozy, but I feel guilty for not getting out of bed and doing something
Uh,
whilst admiring the rainy weather. But admiring the raining weather from my bed is like is nice on one level, but like like I said, I feel bad like not doing anything. Yeah.
but it's good to like not do anything sometimes.
All right.
Uh,
All right.
Never should never feel guilty. Should never. Yeah, I think so I came here on Friday and on Saturday morning I woke up, came downstairs, had coffee with my cousin, and like um her son went to swimming classes, so it was just her, me, and the baby, and we just sat on
Mm.
the couch for hours, just sitting there, like in the morning and early afternoon, And we were like, this was nice, actually, to just sit here and to do
Yeah.
absolutely nothing. Like we were chatting, we were playing with the baby, we were watching TV. Like, it was just like we were just absolutely doing nothing. And like it
Mm.
felt really good. And I mean, I think everyone knows that feeling of like feeling guilty. And like there was like a twinge of that, like kind of creeping into my head. But then I thought, I'm like, no, 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 no. Like you have to like take this and relax because
Mm.
how often do you do that? And like I think when you feel guilty, it kind of takes away from experiencing just a relaxing
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. I mean, guilt is a pointless emotion. It
Yeah.
doesn't really do anything for you.
No, it doesn't.
Um,
The
but
things that
although
we
you
do to
say,
ourselves.
I mean, you ask how often do you get to just not do anything? The past year, we've done nothing. Um,
Well, we weren't not doing anything. We were just depressed every day. Like
yes, that's true. That is true. There is a very
a
fine
little
line.
different. This
There is a
morning
very
more like what the world was going through and just
yeah
yeah,
yeah. Oh
that's a not
God.
doing anything that I don't want to be in. I want to be like not doing anything but like enjoying.
Oh yes, yes. I know. I know. Oh, oh, to not have a care in the world. What a feeling that must be.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you go to London this past week to see that show?
uh, no, well, I went to London, but wasn't to see a show.
Okay.
That show's next week, so I'm going next week.
Okay. Remember
To
you
see.
mentioned it, and I was like, is that where is he going to see the show now? But wait.
No, I was supposed to. One moment of vanity, but I was supposed to. I went to London last week to get some new headshots done,
Mm-hmm.
and because I had my haircut a few weeks ago, after like 4 months of not having a cut, I realized when I got to London that before the headshot, I was like, oh God, my hair is like too short for what I want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I like postponed it for a couple of weeks. So hopefully this grows out just a smidge longer.
Yeah.
Because it was like really short and I didn't really want it to look too short.
Yeah.
So I postponed it for a couple of weeks. So for it to grow out a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping it grows out a little bit more. Yeah, but no, that was why I went. So then that didn't happen, and I ended up just catching up uh, with some friends who I hadn't seen for a year. And one of them was from New York, who is doing this show here in London.
Mm-hmm.
And so she and I met up for evening drinks, and yeah, she was like the only other person who I've seen besides my fucking family in the last year, and oh my God, it was so nice. Like
Oh my God, that must
it
have
was
been
just
so
nice, like
nice. Yeah.
see someone from like not from you know this close proximity that I have with my parents. But yeah, no, it was really nice to see someone from New York.
Yeah. It's crazy to recognize the difference of human interaction from during
Yeah.
COVID, even before COVID, because like when I came back to New York back in February, I met a few friends here and there, and like it felt great to like reconnect and also to, I guess, reconnect on a different level because everyone went through something during the pandemic last year. But also realizing that like you don't want to just hang out with anybody. You just want to spend like quality time with people who are of quality too.
Yes, and yes, I mean I agree on one level, but also like I would spend time with anybody.
You say that. You say
Anyone,
that. Watch.
literally anyone.
When you start hanging out with people, you're gonna be like, okay, maybe not you, maybe not you, maybe you.
That's true. That's true. Now I'm just like desperate, just for like I'm just desperate.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I'm like, nope. Yes, no. You after a while, yes, you're probably right. But yeah, now I'm just like desperate for like
Yeah.
anyone.
The reason why I say that because when I came back to New York, I was like, oh, like I can hang out with this person, I can meet up with that person, that person. Then after a while, I was like, wait, no, 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 no. I don't want to see that person. I don't know if I want to see that. I want to see this person. I want to spend time with
Uh-huh.
you. Like it
Uh-huh.
started to become very, very specific, and I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, but then already I already have like people who I would prioritize seeing over. I mean, like, okay, no. What I'm trying to say is like the people who I want to hang out with are genuinely people who I would rather hang out with.
Mhm.
And the people who I don't hang out with, I wouldn't hang out with pre-COVID anyway. Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
it does. It does. I think like I think for me it's like I had recognized that pre-COVID era that there were times where I was hanging out here and there with some people that I realized that I didn't really care for them as much. And I guess coming back, I thought, oh, like I can reconnect with them, and then I realized I don't really feel like reconnecting with them. I think I'll just let that ship sail.
Right. Right. Like, yep. If I didn't know you before COVID, I'm not going to know you now. There's no reason for us to know each other.
Speaking of people and friendships and like hanging out, but did you get to see another round?
I did.
Okay.
I did. Yeah, it was kind of heartwarming. It was like it started off like a little bit doom and gloom just because it was yeah, he was so
Yeah.
like
I think I mentioned that
talking about
in the last episode too.
yeah,
It started off kind of like meh.
yeah, yeah. It did start off a little bit, but then by the end of it, I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's quite a good turnaround.
Yeah, I actually really enjoy that film only because
Hmm.
I didn't know what to, I'm gonna say this for every film almost because I don't watch trailers, I don't read reviews, I don't read any like I think before a film comes out, like I just try not to see anything about it because I don't want anything to be spoiled.
Right.
Um, unless like the spoilers come to me, I don't know. But I was generally like I was pretty surprised of like how much I actually really enjoyed it because I wasn't even sure where it was gonna go. Um, and because it did start off a bit doom and gloom, I was like, I don't know, like this is kind of like it's very gray. And then I think when he started to open up, I think his name was Martin, right? The main character was it Martin?
Martin, yeah.
Yeah. Um, when he started to open up, I just really enjoyed his performance of him opening up because you can just feel the pain that he was going through of like not knowing how to live life, but also how much that can like hurt someone, especially when you have like loved ones around you and you have a good job and like everything, but you have good friends
Mm.
and good wife and good kids, but like you're still not living life. And
Mm. Well, I mean, even then, like his wife and his kids were just sort of. I mean, he wasn't really having like the best relationship with them anyway.
right, yeah, yeah. I mean, like there wasn't like it seemed like his life was like stable, I
Mm.
guess, you know. So
Right.
um so yeah, when he opened up, it was a really beautiful moment because the other three friends were so supportive and like they were there for him. And then when that moment, my favorite scene is when they first started opening up and they got tipsy, like after that dinner, and they were just playing like
Yeah.
youthful boys, like they were just playing,
Yeah.
and it was just something beautiful about that because it's not. I do like how the movie touched upon how, yeah, like alcohol can be fun, but also there's a level of like alcohol
Yeah. It's
that's
just like a
fun.
steady descent into alcoholism.
Yeah. Which wait, hold on. By the way, so yeah, another round is I should probably do an intro of the film because it is a really good film and I think people should watch it.
Yeah.
I do highly recommend it. It's a movie from Denmark and it came
Hmm.
out last year. Um, and also it's I think it won like a few awards apparently.
I
It was,
think it. Let's see. I'm just looking here. Let's
and it's
see.
about these like four high school teachers that test this theory of how drinking alcohol can help elevate your sense of awareness and creativity and how it can actually help you like work more efficiently
Hmm.
whatever
Sort of like
career
microdosing.
you're in. Yeah, microdosing.
Yeah.
But they follow they follow the routine of Ernest Hemingway, which is where I think they start drinking as soon as they wake up and they drink throughout the day
Hmm.
and they stop drinking at 8 p.m.
Yeah. They
and
stopped. Yeah.
they don't drink on weekends. And but obviously like it got like a little out of control at some point, but
Hmm.
um
But
yeah.
before they're out of control, they kind of like have a little bit more like joie de vivre.
And like yeah, so I was saying before, like I because I think when they were testing the theory, I was getting a little nervous. I'm like, I don't know, this can like go out of
Oh,
hand.
this could, yeah, no, totally. I mean, like for one of them, it kind of did, right? Like he
Yeah,
actually became an alcoholic.
they're all around kids and stuff. But I do like how the film kind of touched upon like, yes, you can have fun with it. Yes, it can help creativity, but also there is a danger of addiction, which one of the friends ended up having the addiction
Mm.
and how that went out of control. And he ended up committing suicide. But even then, they didn't stop drinking. I feel like if it
Mm.
was an American film, they would have been like, let's stop drinking. But you see how weird
Yeah,
Americans are about alcohol. It's kind of
yeah.
funny. But
Well, like if it was an American film, they're like, oh, they're just, they're just people would be like, okay, why did they just make a film about four guys drinking? Um, this seems, yeah, binge drinking. Okay, whatever.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. But the movie ended on like a on a joyful note.
it did because he like bonded with the kids and everything, and he's like, going back to his roots as a dancer.
Yeah, and also I think it is a good reminder too that I mean I don't know if this is what the film was trying to touch upon, but I guess because like you and I are getting older too,
Hmm.
and there's always a
Speak
sensation.
for yourself.
We were born in the same year, right? 89? Right? You're like, Keisha, I lied to you.
Actually, 22.
Wait, you're older than me.
No, I'm not.
Anyways, uh, yeah, like I, I always think about the Little Prince because I think the Little Prince also talks about this too, right? Like, when adults get older, they get rid of their youthful state or
They're
their
in a child, yeah.
they get rid of their inner child completely, or they just completely ignore it or neglect it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't agree with that. I think that's a terrible thing to do. I've met a lot of adults who still live like that, who don't believe in having fun in life or the balance of it. The balance of touching upon your youth and also having the responsibility in life. And like, I feel like this film kind of touched upon that too. It's like yes, you're going to go through life experiences, and yes, you have responsibilities. Like, yes, you have these things, but then there are moments where you do have to let go a little bit. And unfortunately, like, there were things that were going on in Martin's life where his wife cheated on him. He wasn't really there for his kids. He was getting drunk. The kids were embarrassed, and it kind of like shook up the family unit, but it also kind of brought them together in the end too.
Yeah, I mean, so what the movie was trying to say was, alcohol is the will solve all your problems.
I don't know if I want to put that out there, but
and it's like, if you're lacking a personality, drink alcohol.
don't be a stickler.
Drink alcohol.
A small dosage of it, not bottles of it.
Yes, yes. So alcohol is the answer to all your problems.
Don't take note from Tommy, because I remember when Tommy, when he started his alcoholism, when they found all the bottles at the gym.
Oh God, yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, that's a lot of bottles. Like, why?
Yeah, right.
I
What
thought they were
happened?
drinking only a little bit, and
Yeah.
it was heavy liquor that they were pulling out. Not even because I think before they were drinking more. There's drinking more on the lighter side until like the very end of the day. Some of them were drinking wine and stuff, but no, like he had like whiskey bottles in I guess the locker unit or the storage unit of a gym. I'm like, that's weird.
Well, I think, yeah. I just got reminded by something you said that was totally irrelevant to what you just talked about him being alcoholic, but I really, this is a total segue. It has nothing to do with anything.
Okay.
But I really like the interior of his house, of Martin's house.
Oh, me too.
Right?
Yeah, I did eyeball that too.
Like the kitchen, it was sort of like a railroad kind of like.
When they were fighting
setup.
and the wife like went to the kitchen, I was like, "Oh, nice kitchen."
Yeah, it was a really nice kitchen. I was like, "Oh, Oh God, those Danish designs.
Yeah.
So I have no idea why that came to mind, but I had to get that out. Um,
It's not necessarily irrelevant because that kind of goes back to his life, him having a good life, because even his household, like his house was just beautifully designed,
mm,
and he was living, I mean, like you said, like there were issues with the family unit, but
mm,
he did have stability in his life, and like he was living in a good, apparently they're financially stable because
yeah,
his house like looked a lot better than like Tommy's house, for example, right? It was
yeah.
just well constructed, and the architecture of it was like really pretty and cute, and like yeah, very Danish, just very
Mm,
clean and crisp, and
mm,
um which kind of showed like the perfection of his life, even though it wasn't
mm-hmm,
perfect, but just opened up the imperfection of his life. But so yeah, it wasn't necessarily irrelevant. The
mm.
reason why these nice houses are in these films, Hanji, like
Oh,
Parasite.
so well, it was just for my viewing pleasure.
Yeah,
No,
which is
it was a really nice house. Um,
which is pretty cool
yeah,
because it is something to think about. I guess when you're a filmmaker, right? You have to think about
that's true.
the interior of someone's
Yeah,
lifestyle,
whether they're
like
living in
how.
squalor or not. Yeah, but
um,
yeah, no, it was a really it was a very nice it was a great film. Like at the end of it, I was like, oh, it was quite heartwarming.
yeah,
Um,
I also liked the friendship between the four older people.
mhm,
There's something very
mm.
warm about it because I feel like,
They're just like it just seemed like really old friends.
yeah, I mean, their support and love for each other was
Mm,
just so it was comforting to watch because that's like something we don't really, I think that's something that, I don't know if it's something that we don't really see, but I guess the intimacy and their vulnerability towards each other is something that you don't
mm.
see often with
And
older.
between men as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, especially when you watch a lot of films, Western films too, it's like, yeah, you do get that bond between men, the brotherhood and friendship, but
Mm.
they're not nurturing.
Yeah, they're very broy.
Yeah, and these guys were not broy at
They were
all.
not broy at all. They were just like, I don't know. They're not broy at
They
all.
had their moments where they were being kind of like,
Right, but they were
boys,
like, I don't
but
know. There was a very sort of like um caring and
nurture. They were very nurturing.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, totally. You're right. It was a very nurturing relationship between them all.
Even when when Martin went to Tommy's house, like he brought him food, like took,
Mm,
something very
mm.
like loving about. You just don't really see that sort of intimate behavior between
And yeah,
women, so
right, especially in American films, you don't see that at all.
yeah,
Yeah.
you do see like male relationships, but it's not really like that. So it was nice to
No.
see that. It was nice to see that affection between them,
Mm-hmm.
and all the like
Definitely.
those actors were really, yeah, they had such a nice uh relationship with one another too. So it's just nice to
Mm-hmm.
see.
Mm.
Oh, such a good
It
film.
was a very good film.
I do.
But
I love the way that the last scene was filmed when he was
yeah,
dancing and the camera was
yeah,
following him. Oh my god, that was such a powerful moment. It was such a fun moment. It was just so much
yeah.
fun.
Because and you also see him really in this sort of like like I said, he goes back to his roots as like as a as a jazz ballet dancer, but um you just really see him in his sort of element, and it sort of it's a nice sort of bookend to what it was at the beginning when he's having this sort of like offish relationship with his students.
Yeah,
Um,
he's very dull,
and yeah,
very quiet, very like
yeah,
sterile, very sterile. Yeah,
yeah. And then
it
at the
was
end
nice.
of it, it was just like kind
Yeah,
of like one of them in a way.
yeah. It's nice to see like. I think as students, you want to bond with your teacher, and when students get
Yeah.
that, it's so exciting. I know, like, for me, being in like high school or college, like when you bond with your professor or your teacher that way, it's like it's just fun. Like students love
Mm,
that. So just to see that relationship kind of flourish
mm,
was so sweet.
mm. Did you ever have like a relationship like that with a teacher?
I'm trying to think. Like I've had fun high school teachers for sure,
Yeah.
who were definitely like, they were definitely connected to their inner child. Like I definitely had like my English teachers were like that. I had some professors that were pretty like chill. It's like I think when you have teachers who um aren't so rigid and sterile and who aren't afraid of playing with their inner child, and like those are the teachers that students connect with most. And there's also kind of like a flow of understanding between teacher and student. So yeah, there are a few teachers that I've had like that I can think of on top of my head.
Mm,
I've had some memories of them, and it's like, I mean, I never really drank with a teacher as a college student.
right, right.
I don't think so. I'm trying to think. I'm like, but yeah, it's like it's just comforting to like kind of have that like another adult parental figure that's not
Yeah.
dictating to you all the time.
I don't think I had a teacher who was sort of like who was like that too. I mean, I've had teachers who've just been like very supportive, but teachers who are like inner children, and less so. Um, I don't know how I would feel about that either. Actually, to be honest, like if I connected with them um on like the same mental level,
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be great. But also like I wouldn't have any respect for
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess it depends on like how much of a child they are.
them. Right. I wouldn't have any respect for
Yeah,
them to like want to learn from them.
yeah. I guess that goes back to the whole like idea of balance, right? Like
Yeah.
know your role,
Yeah.
but also let go a little bit, but remember that you are, you know,
Yeah.
authoritative figure. You are
No, for
teacher.
sure. For sure. Yeah. I don't know how I would feel about that. I think
Yeah.
it would be very conflicting. But yeah. So then I watched that, and then did you end up watching Infinity War and Endgame?
Yes. So I watched those back to back.
Uh-huh, good.
And I remember in our last chat, I mentioned that I stopped watching all DC and Marvel films. I think
Mm,
we were back
mm,
back in like 2017 or so.
mm,
It has been 2017 because I think Infinity War came out 2018 or something
mm.
like
Something
that.
like that.
And the only reason why I did is because I think the last couple of films that came out between that time in that time, I just completely disliked. I just didn't like it. I felt like it was just too superficial. Not, I don't know.
It
I
does
was
get exhausting, yeah.
Yeah, like it felt like I was watching the same film over and over and over again. That's what
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why am I wasting my time watching these films? Like it's just
Mm-hmm.
too much. And um, I think because the content of it was just kind of the same, or the story was the same. When it comes to like CGI and stuff, like I get distracted. So overall, I was just not connecting with those films at all. So I just completely stopped. I really loved Infinity War and Endgame. Like I loved those films. I
Mm.
was kind of like shocked by it, the fact that I liked it, because I wasn't sure how I was going to handle it. Um, in the beginning of Infinity War, I wasn't paying attention to it for a good like 15 minutes. I was kind
Oh
of
yeah, because the beginning of Infinity War is like slightly confusing. Ugh, annoyingly, right? As much as a standalone film that is supposed to be, like
yeah,
the beginning follows on from
right.
Thor.
Right. Yeah. No, that I understood. But I think because it was like a continuation, I was like,
Yeah, of another film. It's really annoying. Yeah, I forgot about that actually now that you say
yeah.
that. But yeah, it's a continuation from like Thor Ragnarok, and it's like if you hadn't seen that,
Yeah.
like the beginning is just like what?
No, yeah,
Um,
I was totally following it, but I guess because it was a reminder of what I had, I was like,
right, right.
just
But then after that is like it's fine.
yeah. After that, it was good. I think uh, I do want to make like a funny comment. I didn't really hate Thanos, which was
Mhm.
weird because his viewpoint, like his reasoning for what he was doing,
Yes.
I understood it. I was like,
No, for sure.
the way he was doing it was,
Was a little questionable.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was,
it was a little questionable.
you have to be that
But then
violent
it's
to kill
it's fun. It's not funny, haha, but it's funny in a way because after the whole Infinity Endgame war thing happened, and then um and then what we're going through now, the fucking pandemic. I was like, oh, this is a kind of a weird way of like balancing of nature balancing itself out.
So yeah, now that you mentioned that, so I'm watching these films now. It's 2021, and I'm glad that I actually watched it now. I'll probably talk about that in a little while, but um, when he was talking about why he was doing what he was doing, I was like, oh well, I understand that, but Thanos, like, why did you have to like shoot these people like crazy and be violent? Like, there's another way to do it. Just silently kill these people. Like, oh crap, wow, COVID.
Yeah.
My mind went that direction. I was like, oh, I need to stop thinking about that. That's terrible. But it's not that I agree with what the villain was doing, but his reasoning was more sound than I think like a lot of villains in the past who have their reasons as to like take over a world or to have an army lead the world or be a dictator in their own way or why they should do things their own way. Like his reasoning behind his actions, they were pretty sound, and I feel like I think that's what made the movie more interesting
Yeah.
because it was more relatable. It was so
Hmm.
I felt like this time around those two films, not even just his mindset, but even the other characters who don't exist in our world, I felt like they were more relatable in these films. And like I never really experienced that watching these films. They're just heroes, like they have superpowers or they're just
Mm.
strong. But yeah,
Mm.
this time around they were just more human
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
they normally are. Which I found really I just I was a little surprised by that. So I was happy to see that they took it in that direction because I
Mm.
understood where they were all going through. And it's like there were moments of just I think that they were all fighting for the same thing for life. And
Hmm.
even though even though his reasoning was sound and yes, our world their worlds, all their worlds were overpopulated and he was even arguing with Gamora saying like, look, your people are living with filled bellies. You were
Mm.
starving, it's just but at the end of the day they were like, no, we value life. It's like it's a very interesting topic to discuss too, because like,
Definitely.
which side would you be on if that were happening in real life? It kind
Right.
of it reminded me of I never watched these films. I just always read about it because I can't watch these films. But have you watched The Purge?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I
No,
I
that's too
can't.
much for me.
Yeah, I can't watch those films either. But apparently, but I would read about them because I think the concept is interesting, but I just can't watch it. But apparently, I think in the third film, they do talk about like why the purge started,
Mm.
and it kind of has to do with having too many people.
Mm. That's crazy, isn't it? Oh my God. Are
You
we on
know,
well, we're already kind of midway through approach now anyway. Um
although COVID
horrible
didn't
thing to say.
really, I mean, even
COVID's just, doing its thing.
yeah.
Fucking
Even
virus.
even with COVID, like we are, still overpopulated. But anyway, it's not talking about that. It's
Mm.
talking about the films.
Which side would you stand on when it comes to purging half of humanity? That's interesting moral moral dilemma there.
Yeah. But yeah, I was able to follow the entire film. And it was so yeah, so with Endgame, I know I'm jumping all over the place here because like these two films go hand in hand.
Uh,
Oh well.
yeah.
But what I also really loved about this film is that I've noticed it with other superhero films or like action-packed films is that when there's too much going on with a battle scene, if it's not like
Mm.
well orchestrated, it can be too distracting. But with
Mm.
Endgame, that last battle scene that they had with
Oh my God,
everyone,
that last battle
it
scene,
was so
like
good.
it's so it
I was able to
oh,
follow like
it's so
everything.
good. It's such
It's
an
so well
amazing
orchestrated.
moment.
Yeah, and like every moment was so powerful. Like I think
Yeah.
every moment, even when like a superhero like had like just one moment, a single moment, it was such a powerful
And it
moment.
was so full of detail as well. It was so
Yeah,
well detailed. But that moment where they all just sort of appear out of the portals is like insane. It is such I remember seeing it in the movie theaters and like yeah, and watching it with an with an American audience is mind blowing because you guys are so vocal about it. Um, and it was honestly it was bone chilling just to like witness that. But yeah, that moment is like a, an amazing moment. Like,
I was in bed watching it on my I have like a large like Mac computer, and like
mm,
I don't think I blinked. I
yeah,
just don't think I blinked. Like everything was just so beautiful
yeah.
and fun.
Just like because you have all them like appearing, and then you have the music going as well, and then it's like whoa, holy shit! That's
All
like
the actors were so powerful, you know, like they all
yeah,
deliver powerful performances. Like they were just whew. Yeah. I was not I was really happy that I was able to like watch it, you know.
yeah.
Um oh I loved Wanda and Vision. Oh my
I
god.
know. So yeah, so seeing
I'm
both of
gonna
that
watch
now,
it now, yeah.
does it make sense now? Does like Wanda, like the start of WandaVision at least now make a little bit more
Yeah,
sense?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um I was also watching WandaVision at a very bad time in my life, so I don't think I was paying attention to anything.
Right.
Um
Right. So yeah.
that's more me. I wouldn't say it's on the show.
So start it again, and
Yes,
then like
yeah.
it should all make more sense now context wise, and also just like the production value behind it is
Yeah.
wonderful.
Those two
Like it's
actors
so
have
good.
such good chemistry.
Oh, Wanda and Vision.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I like those. I like both the actors, but seeing them perform together, they
Mm,
have very good chemistry. It's very it's I guess you know as a artist, it's very nice to see when actors do have
mm,
a good
mm.
connection on screen because you can see it.
Mm.
So
And then and
I love them.
once you finish watching WandaVision, just for like fun, just for kicks and giggles, shits and giggles, you should watch the making of
Hmm.
the making of like
Yeah, I've heard a friend of mine who has watched WandaVision, who's a fan of the show, told me the same thing to watch
yeah.
Making. And yeah, I'll do that.
The making of is really interesting because like the first few episodes they film it in front of like a live studio audience,
Hmm.
which is like for a Marvel production is like never been done.
Yeah.
And it's really really cool. And they have all the other tidbits as well. But yeah, no, I'm glad you. I mean, like as exhausting as like Marvel as like superhero movies are, but like Endgame and Infinity War are kind of good one to
I
good
think
ones to end
I
up.
think it definitely brought me back to want to watch more superhero films
Yeah,
to go back to it. And I think
yeah,
they probably also because I remember there was a moment in I guess in that industry too where superhero films were being judged for being kind of repetitive.
yeah. I
Um,
think it was Martin Scorsese around that time was sort of like had
uh,
some beef with it, which I totally understand.
I agree because when Wonder
Yeah.
Woman came out, I loved. I mean, I haven't seen the second one, just because like I was gonna watch it and then HBO took it down. You had to like pay for it for like
Oh no.
$20, and they put it back up again. So like I'm gonna watch it
Oh.
now. But I saw the first film and that was a really really good film. And ever since I
Mm.
saw that film, I was like, I can't watch any other films because like the others are just so repetitive and like just very what's the word I don't know, like it's just very superficial and just
Mm.
their jokes are kind of the same and like they're
Yeah.
I don't know, like
I mean, similarly, I enjoyed Wonder Woman, but
mhm.
then I saw Wonder Woman 1984 in the movie theaters,
Mhm.
and that was like it was enjoyable. I think because we were just like out of one of our stupid lockdowns.
Mhm.
And then like I literally had the entire movie theater to myself, and the movie theaters hadn't been open for like months.
Yeah.
And I went to see Wonder Woman, so it was enjoyable on that level because like I had the whole screen to myself. But then, yeah, like watching the movie, I was like, oh, this is just like another superhero movie. There's like it's fun and sure it's fun and quirky because it's set in like in the 80s.
Mhm.
Um, but yes, it's still at the core of it. It's still another superhero movie. So it's like,
Yeah, I've
okay,
actually heard reviews about 1984 that I'll say that I haven't heard good reviews about it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why I kind of been like not putting it on the top of my list or actually
Yeah.
thinking about it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm interested to see the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. I say interested. It's 4 hours long, and I don't know if I have the patience for it. But
yeah.
but but I'm yeah. Part of me is like, oh, maybe I can just sort of have it on the background. So, wait, have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen it. I
Yeah.
haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to Infinity War and Endgame. There was a part, I guess, like an Endgame when I think they were about to like lose the stones again.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, that whole sequence when they took off the hands off of the Hulk, and one of them, I forgot who, I don't know if it was Ant-Man or whoever, like kicks the hands away for a second because it was like too much for the Hulk. And when he did that, I was like, oh god, he can't kick it away. And when the
Uh-huh.
whole building collapsed, I'm like, oh, it's lost under that
Yeah.
rubble. So I was getting so frustrated.
Yeah.
There was a point where I just didn't. I was like, I feel like watching the screen, and then like Thanos came, and I was just getting so frustrated at that point. I think that's when you know when a film is good, when you're just getting so invested.
Uh-huh. But then it's so tense. It just and the tension
So
just keeps
tense.
building up
Yeah,
until like
yeah.
Captain Marvel shows up and you're like, whoa. And it's still even more the tension's still there until
Oh, Captain Marvel was so
until
dope.
Tony Stark like rips the gloves from him. But
Yeah.
but it's like I remember not like breathing for like a minute. Like what is going on right now?
All the scenes with Black Panther,
Oh,
just, I don't know what it is, but all of the characters from that world are so powerful.
they're so great.
They're
Yeah.
so they just emit
Yeah.
this energy. You just
Did
feel
you
it.
ever see Black Panther?
Oh yeah. Oh
Okay.
actually I did like that film.
Yeah.
I did like it. Yeah, yeah.
I
That is
I
a film that I did make sure that I did watch.
right.
Which wow, like that movie was powerful
Yeah,
too.
because I saw that in the movie theaters as well, and I saw it at the movie theater near my apartment in Harlem, and like again, American audiences are so like
So cool.
responsive and vocal,
Yeah.
but then to watch it in a predominantly like black audience,
Hmm.
it was like insane. It was fucking insane. I loved it so much because everyone was just like living for it.
I don't think, I guess aside from Infinity War and Endgame, that film, Black Panther, I was hooked every second. Every
Mm-hmm.
second in the film, I was so hooked. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is, like the cast of that film and also
It was the design as well.
the designs, the costume designs, everything, and even also the enjoyment of seeing an entire like I guess African American or black
Mm,
cast just being
mm.
present on screen was just so refreshing to see. And
Yeah, and being strong as fuck.
yeah, and like whenever they chanted, you're just like you just feel like
Oh my god, so
feel it.
goosebumps all over.
Yeah,
Goosebumps,
you just
so
feel it through
good.
your spirit. It's like because there's
Yeah.
something about I think in compare like I don't want to compare the other heroes. I'm not going to do that actually. I think with Black Panther and that entire cast of their army is that connection that they have with the earth and like the
Mm.
spirit. It just kind of I don't know. You feel like there's like an energy force moving through you like while you're watching the film and whenever they're on screen. So I think whenever they were on screen for Avengers, I was like, oh my god, I just got the tingles.
Yeah, no, it's so good. It's so
Yeah.
so so good. But I mean, like I'm curious to see how they move on to the next Black Panther.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh, I watching that actor perform it I mean he's you can just see the beauty from just his soul and how grounded he is and how beautiful he is and
Yeah,
knowing that he can't perform that role again. I mean, I'm glad that he did.
yeah.
Thankfully, I think he set the tone really, really well.
Mm.
Um,
Not
And
that anyone's ever going to replace him, because I mean
sure, no, no, no.
they're
I'm
not
not
going
saying that either.
to.
No, no, no. I'm not saying that either. But there is a hint of like sadness of like, ugh, like we'll never like see that again. But I am glad that I think there's like a you know a appreciation towards seeing someone carry that role so well and like set the tone. And it's like that torch will be carried on to someone else who will definitely, yeah. I
Yeah.
think they will find someone for sure. Because you know, I do have to say that like I do feel like black actors are really strong.
Well, I think they
Okay,
already decided that they weren't recasting um him. So I'm curious. I'm curious where the mantle of Black Panther will go. Will
I'm sure
who
though that they
that will go to?
eventually will. Because how long can they like?
Well, I don't know. It depends what the next movie's going to be like, right?
I mean, eventually they'll have to, and like I'm sure they'll find someone else.
It'll probably go to another character, but I don't think they will specifically recast T'Challa.
Yeah.
But I reckon Black Panther will go to some other character. Yeah.
Who's your favorite superhero?
My favorite. Oh God.
That's a hard one.
Growing up, Gambit from X-Men.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the first one that came to mind actually.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but like Gambit from X-Men was really really fun. Or Storm from X-Men.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, she was pretty
Storm
kick-ass.
was pretty dope.
She was
Yeah.
really really kick-ass. How about yours? And
So
it can be from any.
yeah, I actually grew up on Batman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was raised on Batman. I'm not really sure how that happened. Even like Batman comics too. Like I think we had a few circulating somewhere. Not that I owned any, but I just remember them, and I also remember seeing the films back then too. And I really loved Michael Keaton as Batman.
Yeah.
So I think because of him, he was my favorite. I mean, this is before what's his face? Christian Bale's era. Um,
Mm.
he was my favorite Batman portrayal. Like I think out of the other actors, or like especially I know George Clooney came out afterwards, and he was supposed to be like the handsome Batman, but and even seeing like the older like shows and films, like yeah, he was my favorite. So Batman was my favorite for a while, and then the more I learned about Batman, the more I couldn't stand him. I found him to be really annoying.
Oh really?
Yeah, because he was always like so broody and always like he just couldn't get over his death of his parents. But he had this like huge mansion.
Yeah.
And I'm like, boo, you're privileged. Like, what's wrong with you? But then
Privileged white boy. Yeah.
I fell back in love with him because I loved the Batman versions of Christian Bale. Like I did love those films, but I didn't really love I didn't fall in love with Batman back again at that point. I just
Mm.
fell in love with the films. But I started to fall in love with him again when the Lego movie came out. Because they're making fun
He
of him.
was. Yes, they did make
They're
fun. It
making
was.
fun of him. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? I still love him. I can make fun of him now. Because like that and College Humor. I think College Humor did a few skits of making fun of Batman. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I think I love him now. I can make fun of him. So for some reason, I don't know why I'm still drawn to Batman. But
Yeah.
now I'm in
No.
a phase where I love him so much that I just make fun of his character all the time.
Yeah, the Lego Batman. Yeah, they do mock his character, so and it's
Yeah.
really really funny as well.
Which, by the way, that's a great film too.
The Lego. Yes,
That's such a good film. Oh my God, it's so funny and
it's
it's so
so
well done.
silly and so well written.
Yeah, well, it's like I love how well they connected with their audience for both Lego and Batman. And also, there were just so many references to his history.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made me fall in love with Batman all over again because I'm like, yeah, like no, like we need to make fun of this. Like this character is kind of hilarious, actually, if you really think about it.
Hmm.
um, so yeah, that's actually a really good film, and the animation too, it's really good too.
The animation. Oh god, it's really impressive actually.
Yeah,
Like just regular filmmaking is like impressive enough, but to do an animation film, I'm like, whoa, the
full
amount of work.
Lego.
Yeah. Oh, well, for Lego as well. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
to the amount of effort that goes into it is like mind blowing.
because they also have to think about like how Lego pieces interchange and move. and like what they're able to do and what they're not able to do too. So I think that tied in with the animation too was just, yeah, it was really smart. It was very very intelligent film. I actually, yeah, I really liked that film.
Mm,
So yeah,
mm.
again, accidentally like reviewing another film.
I know, right? Just, I mean, like, yeah. Oh, I mean, see, the Lego stuff. I never like before they did the Lego movies. They did like the Lego video games, like the Lego Harry Potter and whatever, Lego Star Wars. That didn't really appeal to me that much because I tried playing one of those games before, and I was like, oh, like they're not actually talking.
Mm-hmm.
They were just sort of like gibberish. But then I think that changed after a while. But then the Lego movies came out, in which is a whole this whole original story about this whole original story um, about like the master builder and all that. That was really yeah. I definitely did think it was a very well thought out uh, movie. It was really well written as well, and the music is so like is this it's
Yeah,
so good.
it's really
It's like
good.
it's
Yeah.
just like this childish pop music, and yeah, like in the second movie, though, I think they had a song called like um I can't remember what the song was called, but the lyrics were something along the lines of "This song's gonna get stuck inside your head." And like the way they wrote that song actually did get stuck inside my head. So
Yeah.
it was very meta.
Yeah. I think there's something about the Lego universe
Yeah.
too. It's like, you can't, there's so much that they can have fun with it, because I guess the whole purpose of it is that, you are making up your own world, and you also tap into other, I don't know, I guess like the way that they bond their audience is just really really smart.
Mm-hmm.
I play the video games. I loved the video games, but they're more fun when you play with people,
Yes.
because the
Yes,
ridiculous
because they're
stuff
so
in it
silly and
is
like
just,
yeah,
yeah, like when you kill somebody, like they're bricks. I mean, they're pieces of
the whole thing explodes.
but it's
Yeah,
funny. It's like,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
and
so.
you hear like the little,
Mm-hmm.
pieces falling to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It
cute. It's just cute and it's fun. And like when they're not speaking,
is
like
very.
it's just silly because they're just like, "Rah, rah, rah."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I didn't like about it. That's what I didn't like about it because they didn't speak, and that just annoyed me because I had to read whatever subtitles was coming out. I just didn't feel like reading while I was playing games. But
Is there an Avengers version of Lego?
I think so.
I have no
I
idea.
think so.
Let me look it up.
Let's have yeah. I know that they've got the whole Star Wars saga um, on the for the Lego games.
Yeah, Star Wars is really good on Lego. Oh, going back to my question of favorite superhero, is there anyone in the Marvel universe that's like your favorite? Or I guess anyone
In
from
the
like,
Marvel universe, that's my favorite. Black Widow,
yeah. Okay.
I think.
You're like
I
so
don't know. She was the first that came to mind. I don't know. I can't like. I like that she was like. I like that she's not like godly,
Yeah,
but she's fucking like badass.
yeah.
And when
It,
she died in the movie, I was like, oh god,
I know.
it's so
Yeah,
upsetting.
it's funny that you mentioned that because Hawkeye is my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they're
See,
like,
like, yeah, because neither of them are like have
really,
neither of them have like godly powers, but they
yeah,
just they are badass as fuck.
yeah. I think that's why I like them too, because they have like superhero like tendencies, but they just don't have like the magical powers. Oh, speaking of magical powers, I just want to say I think it was Endgame when they went back in time. That
Yeah.
moment that Thor had with his mother,
Oh my god, yes.
when she just immediately knew who he was, I was like,
Hmm.
oh my god, her character is so beautiful. I can't.
Yeah. I
I was
was it was so upsetting that she died in the well, she actually died
crying.
in one of the other Thor films. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, when that moment happened, and she's like, "I know who you are," and I'm like, "Oh my god." Ugh, I'm so touched by this moment. I want to cry. And like there was just no need for explanation. She just trusted her son.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like ugh, she was such a beautiful character. I can't. That's such a good film. Yeah, apparently, yeah, they do. They do have a Lego.
Oh.
Oh, oh wait, they do. I do remember this because I remember the Hulk being all boxy. I don't know if you can see him.
Oh, I didn't know they had that. Okay.
Which the film did a really good job of the Hulk being very human
Mm-hmm.
because it was weird.
It was very bizarre.
It was very
Very
bizarre,
like, I was like, what is going on here?
but it wasn't. I don't know. You know, I think when some films try to test new things, it doesn't work. I felt like okay, like I was able to accept it, but it was really weird when they first introduced him
Mm,
just not being all hulky.
mm.
Like take a
Right.
picture with him.
Yeah.
Talking to the kid. I don't know. It was weird. It was good. Yeah. Apparently, it got like a 94% on Google reviews.
Oh, really?
Oh, must be good. Sweet. So what's our next film
What is our next film?
aside from Weathering with You, which I know you started. Oh wait, no, okay, we talked about Friends briefly in our
Yes. So the Friends reunion is coming out next Thursday, I think,
oh
the
okay,
following Thursday. But that will definitely be one of those. Um,
I have to watch it.
yeah. I mean, they cast. I mean, I'm mostly excited for it, except that they put James Corden in it.
Oh really?
Yeah. And it's like, why? Fucking James, stop casting James Corden in all these stupid cameo appearances. I mean, I never really found him funny.
Wait, but
I still
what's he
don't.
gonna do? Like what's as
I
what?
have no idea. But there's a bunch of like guest celebrities on there, like Lady Gaga, um who else? Tom Selleck, but then he was in the original Friends
He was.
anyway.
Yeah, he was, yeah. Yeah.
Um
Which I like him. Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
then like you have James Corden. I'm like, what did he do? Like so anyway, so I'm mostly excited for it, but except for that. Um yeah. So there's that we have to watch. Yeah, I don't know what else. What else was on our list?
I haven't thought about anything and I haven't seen anything that has popped up in my head. I mean, the only reason why I suggested another round is because it was recommended to me so often. So I was like, okay, what the hell?
Hmm.
Like I haven't seen anything that was recommended to me that I'm interested in. So I don't know. What movies have come out recently? Or what films have I not watched in the past? I'm trying to think. Um I don't even know. I haven't caught up on like so many things. So I'm just trying to think. Like,
Yeah, no, we'll have to figure one out because
yeah,
um and we also have to figure out which streaming platform it's on.
I know. It's funny that you mentioned that to me because
Because I was like, see, I was fairly certain Weathering with You was on Netflix because you didn't say otherwise,
yeah.
and I was like searching for it. I was searching for it today, and I was like, I couldn't find it. I literally went through all like pretty much like the major Netflix regions. I even
Mhm.
went onto the Japanese Netflix, couldn't find it on there either, which is
Oh
like
wow.
weird.
That's
And
weird.
then I ended up doing a bit of a Google search, and then they were like, "Yeah, it's on Australian Netflix." And I was like, "Okay,"
Okay.
so it's on there.
Um, that's really weird. Yeah, but yeah, I get confused with all my like platforms. Oh, you know what? You know what I want to. So I have Apple TV. I think it's called. I don't even know what's on it though. I've only been the only reason why I have Apple TV is because I've been watching Servant, which
Oh,
has
see, that's terrifying to me.
I
I've
well
not seen Sure.
the only reason why I watch it is because Rupert Grint is on it, and I'm a huge fan of
Oh,
all the Harry Potter like cast, so like I follow everything that they do. But although by the way, I actually have not seen Little Women. Have you seen
oh,
it?
really?
Yeah,
Little Women? You
yeah. I
haven't
haven't
seen
seen
that?
it. Mm.
Huh.
I've been meaning to watch it. I just haven't gotten to it. But yeah, I've been watching Servant, and which is really good. It's filmed really interestingly. I love the way it's filmed. I think that's why I like it so much.
Yeah, the I recently watched Truth Be Told with Octavia
Okay.
Spencer.
Yeah.
That was really good. And I just finished watching Ted Lasso
Oh, okay.
with Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah.
That's a really good one as well. Like it's very sort of like sports orientated, but it's a very good show.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Is Minari on Apple TV?
No, I want to watch that.
Because it says that it is. That's a lie. If it is, we should watch it because I have
Oh,
Apple.
right?
Let's see. Wait, hold on. Movie streaming. Where to watch? Hold on. Let me check right now. Oh, it doesn't say. Let me find out. No. Oh wait, it is. Okay. I'm not logged in right now because I don't have it, but let me check to see if it's on Apple TV because that could be our next film. Because
Yeah, no,
I do want to
definitely.
watch it, yeah. And I have it.
Definitely.
I can just give you my login.
Oh, no, I've got Apple TV.
Oh, you do? Oh,
I do have Apple TV, yeah.
okay. So we'll just check. We'll figure it out, and we can save friends for like the next recording.
Yes. Yes, when we've actually seen it.
Very cool. Yay.
Thank you for listening to episode 5, our review of Another Round, Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. Stay tuned for episode 6 next week. And don't forget to follow us on Spotify and Instagram at Dark Brown Channel.